Hey everybody, this is Fernando from the Rollback Podcast, and you know what day it is. It is Wednesday. Or it could come out on a Saturday, I don't know. I don't work with Eddie's schedule because I'm my own man, and we do whatever we want on the Rollback, and especially the Wednesday Rewind. Hashtag we're the best. Hashtag Eddie, you can go f*** yourself is what you can do. So, I know I've promised to do The Lost, like Angel, the Fallen series. I still need London and Angel, and I kind of got bored with it, so I kind of went on a DC kick with two of my favorite DC movies, Aquaman and Shazam. Ironically enough, I was looking at the backstory of both of them. It's funny that both of these movies are helmed by directors who did really well directing horror movies and then decided to do this. James Wan being the fucking king of modern horror, doing Aquaman, and then we have David Sandberg, who did pretty good with Annabelle Creation and then Lights Out. I haven't seen it, heard good things, but yeah, it's pretty interesting to see that. Shazam it's a different movie. It's a very different movie, especially considering that that DC's more known for their darker tones. I think that's fair to say, and they're known primarily for having these long, drawn out, eerie, kind of depressing characters. And Shazam is the complete opposite of all of that. He is a boy, a 14-year-old boy trapped in a superhero's body. The movie starts off with Billy Batson, who is a delinquent foster kid who gets placed with a new family in Philadelphia. That's one of my major gripes with this movie, is that it's set in Philadelphia, and there's no Philly accent anywhere in sight, and you know which Philly accent I'm talking about. If you've ever heard it before, you know exactly what it sounds like. It is on par with having such a distinct, let's go with flavor, like a Boston accent. And there's nowhere to be seen in this movie. Got a big gripe with that. But whatever. So yes, this movie's set in Philadelphia. He is a delinquent foster kid who gets put in his next foster home that consists of, I believe it's 7 kids or 6 kids. It's, you have Freddie, you have Mary, you have Darla, you have Eugene, and you have Pedro. They all become his foster brothers and sisters, along with the foster parents, Rosa and Victor. And that's the start of Billy Batson's story. The other start of the story has to do with Dr. Savannah, our soon-to-be villain. The movie starts off with him in a car with his brother and his dad, and they get in an accident after he is expelled by the wizard Shazam, played by Jimon Hanzu. I really don't want to mispronounce that name, but you've seen him in a ton of movies, primarily Guardians of the Galaxy. He's the dude that pops out when Star-Lord says his name, and he's just like, who? He's like, Star-Lord, man. And then that's him. So you've seen him in a ton of movies. This guy is always all over the planet. All over the planet? Yeah. All over the planet when it comes to movies. He's done 2 for Marvel. He's done Guardians of the Galaxy, Captain Marvel. Voiced Black Panther in an animated movie. And he's also done 2 movies for DC. Came out in Aquaman as King Riku, and then this movie as the old Shazam. So yeah, he's been in a ton of movies. So yeah, the movie starts off with Dr. Savannah meeting with that wizard, and the wizard determines that he's not worthy to carry the mantle of Shazam, and kicks him out, leading him to go crazy and do whatever he has to find Shazam. Along the way, he does end up finding Shazam. He gets the powers of the 7 deadly sins, and then we're off with the story. The next thing to happen is we get Billy Batson meeting the old Shazam and gaining powers, which ends up leading him on a journey with his foster brother Ferny and his foster family. Shazam's an interesting character, mostly because he's the only character that wants, like, the only person that wants to be a superhero. Like, he's so fucking stoked about being a superhero that it's hilarious. I think, like, I'm gonna just rattle off things that I was like, whatever. The Philly accent, for starters. How dare you? I'm just saying, like, if you hear a Philly accent, you're like, oh God, that is pungent. Yeah, that's how you'll feel. Dr. Savannah was alright as the first villain. I was kind of a little disappointed, mostly because before Zach Levy was cast as Shazam, and before like anything really got up and running with this movie, The Rock was cast as Black Adam, and DC Universe, Black Adam, Shazam, kind of arch rivals. So Dr. Savannah was okay. I know he was like the first villain in the comics, so whatever. It wasn't horrible, just he was alright. The only other gripe I really had with this movie was, man, fuck Billy's mom. She is horrible. She's a horrible person. So one of the backstories in the movie is Billy Batson's trying to find his mom throughout the movie. The movie begins with him breaking into a cop car and locking some cops in a pawn shop to get their computer and look up one of Rachel Batson's addresses. He ends up going to the address, not her. He ends up getting sent back to foster care, yada yada yada, movie. And eventually, near the end of the movie, his foster brothers and sisters actually did the research for him, and they accounted for that his mom might have gotten remarried, and they found her address. So he goes and meets her, and like she kind of looks at him like, oh shit, my past is coming to bite me in the ass. And she kind of just like doesn't want anything to do with him. She's clearly in a horrible relationship, and then that's pretty much it. She sends Billy on his way, doesn't go after him, nothing, and he really just realizes like this woman that was going out of my way to look for all my life was not the woman that I wanted her to be, and learns a hard lesson there. But yeah, I'd say those three things were probably the only real gripes I had with the movie. In all honesty, I thought this movie was really good. Really surprised that it was made by another guy who's very well known for horror movies, and he hit it big. He really did hit it big with this movie, and he did a really good job. I really can't wait to see what comes next. Let's start about the things I did like. The cast. I thought the cast was amazing, and that's because out the gate, I was like, Zachary Levy as Shazam. I mean, Zachary Levy came out, I think his biggest credit is Chuck. He did that show for, I don't know, probably like 6 or 7 seasons. And then he did sparing movies. Came out in Thor 2, The Dark World. Didn't know that. Forgot about that, actually. And yeah, he had come out in some movies, but that's pretty much it. I remember when they cast him, I was just like, I mean, we'll see how it goes, but I don't have any high hopes. Then we have the kid who plays Billy Batson, Asher Angel. Never saw the kid anything before. Loved him. He was great in this movie. 2 thumbs up. Can't wait to see where his career goes. Jack Dylan Grazer. You've seen him before. Came out in It Part 1 and 2. He plays Eddie. he is amazing. He's hilarious. The kid has a really strong future ahead of him. Fucking hits every comedy cue that you can think of. Great performance. I can't wait to see more of him. We get Mark Strong, Dr. Savannah. You might know him from the Kingsman series. He plays the guy in the computer. Very good actor. I've seen him play in a bunch of things before. Strong villain. I mean, he was good. No real quarrels about that casting. Grace Fulton, she plays Mary. You might have seen her. The only thing I remember seeing her in was Annabelle Creation. But that's pretty much it. Great actress. I already mentioned him. Jimon Hanzu. I hope I'm not butchering his name. Great actor. Came out in so many things. This dude obviously has a role out there, and he's finding it. So I'm really glad to see that. Faith Herman as Darla, really good job. Ian Chen as Eugene, really good job. Jovan Armand plays Pedro, good job. And then, I mean, that's pretty much it for the kids. And then we get into their superhero counterparts. Adam Brody, seen him in a ton of things before, plays Freddy's superhero counterpart. We see Megan Good, who plays Darla's superhero counterpart. Ross Butler plays Eugene's superhero counterpart. DJ Catrona, who plays Pedro's counterpart. And then we also see Michelle Borth, and she plays Mary's superhero counterpart. Again, all very good, solid castings. Nothing that you're really like, holy shit, like that's amazing. But no, like it was all really good, solid casting. Zachary Levy really out the gate blew me apart. So I'm just like, all right, man, you shut me up. You have a fan. Honestly, at first I thought this movie was gonna suck. Because of that, I was like, I can't really take him seriously as a superhero. But no, he actually did really good. The villain was decent. Didn't hate him. A lot of times you might see really bad villains. The elf from Thor 2 obviously was pretty forgettable villain. But no, I thought Dr. Savannah was a decent villain to get this going. Would have loved to see Black Adam, but well, I guess we're gonna see him down the line. The pacing in the movie is really well done. Sometimes DC movies will have like some weird pacing, especially because their movies generally hit past the 2-hour mark normally. And sometimes they can feel long, but this one doesn't feel long at all. It actually like really paces itself really well. The chemistry of the cast, I really dug, because I was looking at some of the special features, and apparently like Zachary Levy and the cast of kids like just had a really good rapport going backstage. He was always bringing a speaker on set when they weren't rolling. He was constantly playing music, dancing, all that shit. And just having a good time, loosening up. And it's good to see because, like, man, you hear, like, some movies that are just plagued with bad shit going on in the background. Like, one of the biggest examples is that Fantastic Four reboot that happened this past decade. It was bad. Like, everyone was fighting with each other. The director was fighting with the studio, the actors were fighting with each other. It was bad. And so it was nice to see like that they actually had a really good chemistry behind the scenes. I don't know why, I've always been a sucker for that. Even with TV shows, like some of my favorite TV shows, I only really like them because the cast still likes each other. But yeah, that's just something that's about me. I don't know why. It just is. Probably should handle that in therapy. the and yeah, Jimon Hanzu being in 4 fucking superhero movies, 2 in Marvel and then 2 in DC. The dude has no allegiance, whatever, as long as he gets the role, does a really good job, and he fucking hits it every time. For the role player that he is, I'm not saying like that in a bad way, but I'm saying that there's a specific role for him, and every time he gets that role, he hits it out of the park. So props to him, he fucking does it. I like how this movie acknowledges the other superheroes. It acknowledges Superman highly, acknowledges Batman, it doesn't acknowledge Wonder Woman. She does not get a nod in this movie. Aquaman gets a nod in this movie, even in the end credit scene. They kind of make fun of it when they're doing their superhero tests. He's like talking to a goldfish, and he's like, I can't talk to fish, that's stupid, like, who wants to talk to fish? And then Freddy brings up the point, you command an army of 1 billion sea creatures, and then like he points at his shirt because it has the Aquaman symbol on it. But yeah, like, I like how it pretty much references the characters of the DC universe. Granted, this is post 2017 Joss Whedon Justice League, so we don't know what's going on in DC. We're kind of just like along for the ride, so we'll see how this goes. But yeah, I dug that part. Had no clue there were 7 wizards when they do that whole thing where he splits the powers between, where Shazam splits his powers between his brothers and sisters. I had no clue that ever happened in the comics because I'm not really fluent on Shazam. So I was like, alright, cool. Hey, cool. It's fine. For what they do, like, they all do pretty well playing kids. The actors who play the superhero selves, they all do really well playing the kids. So, I mean, no problems there. Didn't really know much about Shazam. I saw him in a couple things. I think the first animated movie I saw him in was Justice League War. But other than that, I wasn't too familiar with him. So, I mean, it's nice to see new characters and new things to get familiar with. So, hey, go for it. The relationship between Freddy and Shazam, hilarious. The way that kid who plays Freddy plays off of Zachary Levi and back and forth, man, they do really good work together. Zachary Levi and Jack Dylan Grazer, like, just work really well together. And I think that's a testament to Jack Dylan Grazer, because I know on It Chapter 1 and It Chapter 2, when he met his older self, like, he had a really good rapport with the guy who played the older him as well. So, I think that's a really good testament to him, because he does really do a good job in this movie. I think I said it earlier, Shazam being the only superhero that's actually down with being a superhero. I thought that was a nice change of tone, especially for the DC universe. And especially for the Marvel universe as well, because you don't really see too many superheroes jazzed to be a superhero. I think the only one that maybe was, like, stoked was Star-Lord. He kind of seemed like the only one that wanted to be a Guardian of the Galaxy. But yeah, just Shazam being super psyched about being a superhero was a nice change of pace. The way that he acts is definitely how a kid would act being in that position. So 2 thumbs up for that. The scene where Dr. Savannah just completely murks the board of his dad's company, like, wow. He throws his brother out the window, has all of them eaten and murdered violently. And I was just like, wow, it's pretty violent. If there was blood, this would definitely be rated R, but it wasn't. So there wasn't any rated R rating. So shut up. God, Fernando, you're so stupid. Sorry, that was me getting mad at me. But no, like, that scene was really well done. Surprisingly violent. Loved it. great change of pace in the movie. I would say the two standout characters for me in this movie are definitely Zachary Levi and Jack Dylan Grazer. They definitely steal the show. Zachary Levi, because I completely counted him out before this movie even came out, and he shut my ass up very quickly. And then Jack Dylan Grazer as Freddy. He has to play the best friend of Billy Batson. Obviously hilarious. Obviously a really good actor. Can't wait to see more of him. The superpower tests were hilarious because, again, it just lends itself to the fact that the only people that are going to be doing this are kids. And it is hilarious to see them try to figure out what Shazam's powers are. And it's funny because I didn't know that that Shazam's powers are actually in his name. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, because his name stands for the wisdom of Solomon, the strength of Hercules, the stamina of Atlas, the power of Zeus, the courage of Achilles, and the speed of Mercury. And each one of those names is a letter in Shazam. So his name originates from that, which I had no clue before that. I just thought it was a word. I know that his name in the beginning wasn't even Shazam. It was Captain Marvel, but Marvel Studios kind of sued them. Don't know when. Pretty sure it was a good while ago, and got them to stop using it. So sucks. But yeah, the superpower test was hilarious. The fact that they had Shazam buy beer and then drink beer and then go to a strip club, hilarious. Loved it. And yeah, those two scenes stood out to me because you've never seen them in a superhero movie before. So props to them. I really do like that they got these two different minds to direct these movies, to direct Aquaman and Shazam, and you could tell like they really brought something different to the table. So props to DC. Keep doing that. Stop interfering with the creative process and stop fucking up your movies. I liked how they just kind of nudged in the piano from Big. I was just like, this is random but hilarious. Okay. The last fight sequence was good. I dug it. Again, I would have liked to see Black Adam in this, but you know what? It happens. We'll see him eventually because I know they are starting production on that movie, so it's not like we're not going to see it. I'm pretty sure we are. But yeah, overall, I give this movie a definite 4.5 out of 5. This movie is really fucking good. Completely surprised me. It was nice to rewatch it again. I think I saw it in theaters maybe once or twice. I think I saw it twice. But loved it. Each time I loved it. But yeah, that is the review for today, ladies and gentlemen. This is the rollback, and please check out our website. Please check out therollback.net, where we have our written reviews. Check out our link tree below that has our links to our OnlyFans, our Spotify, our Google, our MySpace page, our Facebook page, our Friendster page. You know, all those pages, every one of them. TikTok, we're on there. I'm kidding, we're not. But we might be. But yeah, that's it for today's review, everybody. This is Fernando from The Rollback, your president, leader, and your resident shit talker. This is The Rollback. This is your Wednesday Rewind. Let's cut this